everyone, welcome back. My name is Lynn. I'm glad you're joining me this week. If you missed last week, you saw me in a little different rare form. Oh man, you guys popped in on me. I had a mess on my desk. We had donuts and coffee last week, and we talked about if Jesus came to your house, what would it be like? If you missed last week, you have got to go back and watch it. It is great. I fessed up. I was convicted. I shared my heart with you guys. You know, we always say on here, no judgment. We're friends. And if we can't just talk as friends and fellowship together here through this podcast, you know, we got problems. And I'm not here to judge you, and I expect you not to judge me, because you know what? I should be able to come to my brothers and sisters and say, hey, this is what's going on in my life, and I'm struggling, or this is what's going on in my life, and I'm so excited. I just got to tell somebody. So if you missed it, go back. If you find any of these podcasts beneficial, please share them. You know, it doesn't cost you anything. It's free to share them. Share them with your friends, your neighbors, your relative. Maybe there's somebody that's shut in and can't get out. You know, these podcasts are short. They're simple. I'm very practical. I'm a simplistic person. I don't like fancy schmancy. You know, like, my life is simple. I don't like complicated. I can't handle complicated. Life is complicated. I can't handle complicated. So if you know someone that needs simple, here you go. Simple devotion. I have nothing to offer him. And who is on your team is what we're going to be talking about today. So, you know, fessing up. I'll fess up with you. You'll see me on stage, sometimes at events, a conference where I'm a speaker. I'm a woman speaker for different events. You'll see me on this podcast. You might even see me in person when I'm working. Let me tell you this. I know how to go on stage, okay? I don't know if any of you have ever had to perform. So if you are in a type of position where you need to go on stage, I can do that. I could have had a rough day and be at work and, hey, how are you? So good to see you. And talk and go on stage, even though life is not the best. But my insides, a lot of times when I speak, even on these podcasts or when I've spoken on stage at a conference, my insides are saying, oh, Lynn, you messed up those words. Lynn, you stumbled on your words. Lynn, your hair didn't look right, or your clothes. You know, these other speakers have really beautiful clothing, and I shop at thrift shops. You know, fess up time. This girl, I'm a thrifter. I shop at thrift shops, and I don't have a lot of wealth, and I don't have, you know, the perfect teeth, and I don't have whatever. That person's prettier than me. They got it together. I messed up my word, right? They have it together, and they don't stutter and stammer. And listen, I have dyslexia. So dialing a phone number sometimes for me can be a challenge on days where maybe I feel more under pressure or I'm nervous and I can't dial a number sometimes. And I've had to learn in business to overcome those things and work through those things. But you know, you feel inadequate. You feel less than your best. I had a conversation with someone, and I texted her probably a day or two after this conversation, and I said, you know, I just need to let you know that this podcast, she knows who it is if she's listening, is somewhat dedicated to her. Because do you have anybody in your life that makes you feel like you're somebody special? Makes you feel like what you did mattered? Makes you feel like you just can keep going? That's what this person did for me. She called me to tell me she needed prayer about something. And I said, absolutely. I felt honored that she would ask me to pray for her about a decision that she needs to make in life. And then she went on to tell me about something I had done that she was pleased with and she was encouraged by. And in that conversation, she basically said, in a sense, that she wanted to be on my team for the journey that I'm on, the journey that the Lord has me on. And that was if I could summarize it, I would say that's what she said. Blew me away. Want to be on my team? What team? And we were on the phone together, and I was getting choked up. I don't know if she was, but When I say blew me away, it's a week later, and I'm still blown away. She just went on to talk about all the things that I'm involved with. And she said, you do this, and you're involved in that, and you do this and that, and well, you do that and this and that. And when she got done, I was like, oh yeah, I guess I have my hands in quite a few pots. I like to be busy. I can never say I'm bored. Actually, I never have time to do enough of all the things in life, not only that I need to do, but that I want to do. And I always joke with somebody because I'll hear of a new career or a new something, and I'll say, when I grow up, I want to do this. I just have so many things in life I want to try and taste and see and experience. And I feel that that's part of life. I don't think the Lord put us on this earth to be boring people, to be a stick in the mud, and not to enjoy the taste of a vanilla ice cream cone from Dairy Queen with rainbow sprinkles. Now, you want to talk good stuff, or a nice coffee from Starbucks, or a nice delicious donut. Oh, you can just smell that donut from the bake shop, or indulge in some yummy pizza or something like that, or to go to a park and just look at the trees and look at your window and see the sunshine, or enjoy the raindrops as you hear it. Those are things that God created, and I believe He created that for our enjoyment. But sometimes we get away from that. And we get kind of in this, I'm not good at anything. I'm not good enough. I have no talent. I go to church. I can't teach. I'm not a speaker. I have no singing voice. I'm not good at greeting. So-and-so does a great job. She's really got a great personality. I'm not good with kids. I can't work outside. It's too hot. It's too cold. I can't be a parking attendant. There's nothing I can do. What can I do at church? Okay, well, maybe not at church. And how about your home? No, my home's not really that nice, and I don't have anything to offer. Okay, how about you visiting somebody else at their home? I'm not really good with that. I'm not good with talking to people. I mean, you could just talk yourself out of everything. So as I was talking to this person, and we were going over ministries and things like that, I again was blown away on, first of all, that she knew how much she knew about me in my personal life. Like, she watched me. And if she's watching now, she said she even looks around at my office and she sees my coffee cup, or she'll see something over here, and she watches me. People are watching. People know when you're true blue. Now, I can say this. I'm a very public figure in the sense that I do this podcast, and this podcast can go around the world. And not everybody around the world, around the United States, will know me personally. But there are people local to where I record this podcast that come to events where I work, and they know me. They know when I answer the phone and I say, hello, America's Keswick, how can I help you today? Lynn, is that you? I get that all the time. Yes, this is Lynn. They know me. They know my voice. I went somewhere one time, and I was in another state, Pennsylvania. This is in New Jersey. I was at a garage sale in Pennsylvania, and a few, tables away, this lady said, are you Lynn Wilson? And I said, yes. I didn't recognize her. She said, I watch your podcast. She said, I recognized your voice. That freaked me out the rest of the day. I said to my husband, was I saying anything incorrectly? If you listened to last week's podcast and that track that I read, what just uttered out of my mouth? Was I speaking respectfully to my husband? Was I yelling at my kids? Was I saying something inappropriate that, not cursing, but, just something rude or something? Because she recognized my voice. People are watching us. We have Jesus Christ in our life, and I'm speaking to me right now. I know, I always say you guys have it together. I'm the one that doesn't. But I got to think about this. Let's think about this, okay? Let's. Maybe we need to write this down. You got a pen? Maybe you need to jot this down. We're saved. We were created in the image of Christ. Right there. Check that box, right? Now I'm saved and I have the Lord living in my life. Check that box. God created me for a purpose, or he would never have created me. Okay, let's check that box. If he created me for a purpose, and now he's living in my life, he has a special job for me to do. Check that box. In order to do that job that he needs me to do, he gave me gifts, abilities, and talents that would basically accomplish the job that he needs to get done here on the earth through this physical human being. He would not have given me these gifts and abilities and talents if he didn't need to use me. And the fact that he created me, he doesn't create junk. So let's check off another 5 boxes there. And yet we sit there and talk ourselves out of serving the Lord because we have nothing to offer. We talk ourselves out of serving in our homes because it's not good enough. I know people judge. I know that. I've had people come to my house and make comments. You know what? Don't come over. I'll be black and white. My house, probably 90% of what's in my house is from a thrift shop. 2 reasons. All right? Give you a little insight to Lynn. One is we can't afford a lot, so we thrift. But really, even if I could afford it, I would probably thrift anyway, because if I can get it for 1/3 of the price than new, and it looks just as good, why not get it for 1/3 of the price? I guess that's the Scottish coming at me, a little thrifty there. The other thing is, my husband has epilepsy, if you didn't know that, and he has seizures every day. I can't tell you how many times I had a piece of furniture when we were first married that was brand new that he collapsed on top of and broke. And I was so upset over that piece of furniture that broke. In the meantime, my husband's laying there having a seizure. Does that sound cruel? Yes, it is. It's immature. But how many times have we been more upset about a dish that was broken in our home when we had a guest over than we were about the guest? Don't tell me there's not somebody else out there. My house is thrifted, but you're always welcomed. I always say the house might not be perfect, but the coffee pot is always on. That has been a motto since the day I got married. You know, if you need fellowship, if you need friendship, if you need, whatever. Now, that doesn't mean pop in on me every 5 minutes of the day, but it's a welcoming spirit of being friends and being somebody that people can be drawn to or want to talk to. When you think about what did he gift me with? I don't know. And sometimes our talents, there are some people that you look at them and they're like, yeah, I know, I get it, because I'm not one of these people. They sing, they're beautiful. They seem to have the perfect hair, the perfect teeth, the perfect clothes. Their makeup always looks great. They can teach, they can speak. They're never late to church. They just have the perfect everything. And you're like, really? And then you look at yourself and you're like, well, I can sing, or I can play the piano, and you think you only have that one talent. So, what do you really have to offer? I'm going to read a few things, see if any of this resonates with you, if anything kind of hits home. Other people are better at speaking, and other people are better at being around people. They're a people person. Other people are much prettier or handsome. Other people have a better look, their whole look, the hair, the clothes, whatever. They look better than I do. I always tell people, you get what you get. Like if you know me in person, like I was saying earlier when I answer the phone, people know my voice. If you've met me in person and you've seen me on camera and then you meet me in person, the only thing you might see different is in person, I'm probably a little bit more quiet when I'm not on stage. But I hate to tell you, but what you see here is all you're going to get. Like, I don't know how to be anybody else other than Lynn Wilson. Others can speak more clearly and don't mix up their words and get flustered and nervous as they speak. Others seem to have it all together. Others seem to have way more talent. Can any of you relate to this? Because these are my personal thoughts of how I see others outside of myself. But yet we just checked off all these boxes about the Lord living in our life and giving us talent to serve Him and giving us a purpose. By the time that this person got done telling me how much they admired the things I'm involved with, and grateful for the fact that we're connected as family, and encouraged me in some of the things that I had shared that they were encouraged by, my head was just like, whew, like this. When I get myself in a bad mindset, I need to stop and realize I'm a daughter of the King. I'm a child of the King. I was created with a purpose. That purpose includes gifts and abilities and talents that are just directed toward me. Because if somebody had everything that I had, there would be no purpose for me. And if He created me, there must be a purpose for what I need to do to serve Him. Listen, if nothing else tickles your fancy and gets you excited and floats your boat, serving the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, He died for me. He died for you. He took my name to the cross because He loved me. He suffered for me. And I've accepted Him, and I believe He died on the cross, and I believe He's my personal Savior. Why would I not be excited to want to serve Him? Even if I have just a little talent, big enough to fit in my pinky, and others have enough to fill 10 fingers. Does it really matter in the end? Because I get to serve my King. So, yeah. Oh, I'm going to read a poem, and we're going to close with this. Are you ready? It's called One Talent. I have no voice for singing. I cannot make a speech. I have no gift for music, and I cannot teach. I am no good at leading. I cannot organize, and anything I write would never win a prize. But at the roll call in the meetings, I always answer here. When others are performing, I lend a listening ear. After the program is over, I praise its every part. My words are not to flatter. I mean them from the heart. It seems my only talent is neither big nor rare, just to listen and encourage and fill a vacant chair. Gets me every time. But all the gifted people could not so brightly shine were it not for those who use a talent such as mine. Wow. That, again, is another yellowed track like last week's that has been in my Bible. I'll be married 37 years in about 6 weeks. This has been in my Bible for about 40 years. Considering I'm 29 and holding, that's pretty good. But at least for 40 years, I've had this track in my Bible. I read it all the time. When I get down and I get blue and I get frustrated because I feel like I'm not worth anything, I read this and I'm reminded, even with that one talent, how important that one talent, and I know I have others, because God created me for a purpose. But just if I just had that talent, how important I am to the Lord. 40 years carrying that in my Bible. I love this track. There is nobody on here, written by or anything like that, so I can't give credit to anyone. There you go. I hope you enjoyed today's podcast of Hope for Today. We will see you next week. Don't forget, grab your coffee, grab your donut. We'll see you same place, same time next week on Hope for Today.